General nerdery.
Today on GNN, a really good thing happened in wrestling. One of the worst things I've ever heard of happened in wrestling. Kumail Nanjiani was promised way more than he received, and nobody is nice to Image Comics. All that more is coming up on General Nerdery News. We're your hosts. I'm Zach.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Steven.
Still not used to having to do that, Bart, are you?
No. I'm definitely putting a lot of radio voice funk
That's
on
fine.
it.
No, I love radio voice.
I don't know if I've never even tried to do radio voice. I'm not going to try now. Not going to be my first time. Not right now.
Now that you're on the spot about it. Before this, what have we been ingesting?
Did I bring up when I started watching The Pitt? I brought that up, right?
You mentioned I think kind of in passing.
I don't even know if you mentioned it on the podcast.
Yeah, that's a thing.
That's okay. I guess that's more what I was getting at. Like, I know I've mentioned that I'm watching it to people. I guess I didn't even remember if it was you guys, but
That's the one that is...
You could have mentioned it on the podcast, but you could have also mentioned it in passing because we were talking about something else, and it just came up.
It's the guy from ER on a hospital show, and they're getting sued by the creators of ER because they were trying to make like a reboot, and when it fell through, they just made a different hospital show with that guy.
yeah, a legally distinct show. They were getting sued by the Crichton estate. I don't know what the update on that is, by the way.
I'm just making sure I had the right show.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
That's
you
the
have the right
correct
show.
show.
I do think, as far as I remember, that was probably going to go nowhere based on they made enough legally distinct changes to...
I agree, and then I watch it, and I'm like, oh, this is just ER.
Just a
This is ER
more
mixed
intense
with-
version?
Yeah, mixed with 24.
Oh.
Because the first season is 14 episodes, and each episode is an hour. It's their shift.
That's cool. I should watch it.
And it's really good, and I finished it this weekend, which is why I brought it up. Fucking loved that show. I imagine it's going to go on, like it's Emmy nominated and stuff, and getting super good word of mouth.
It for sure has a second season filming.
I'm curious what they're going to do. Because like I said, the whole first season is 14 episodes, and each episode is in an hour. So is season 2 going to be more drawn out? Is it just going to be like
Sunday. This was Saturday, that's Sunday.
Well, I was going to say, this is... The
month
episode
later.
basically turns into being like the worst day of their year.
Sure.
And so is like next season going to be the worst day of next year?
I find that fascinating. I've been meaning to watch this show. I want to. I keep seeing it come up on Tumblr. There's someone in my feed that really stands this show, specifically one character, a small blonde woman with glasses. She's apparently someone on Tumblr's absolute favorite little bro. So
I know one of the actresses is not coming back, but I don't know enough about the show to be able to say.
Yeah, I haven't looked up anything yet, so...
I don't even know how I know that. I have not watched The Pitt.
I've heard also from people in the medical profession, because my wife works in the adjacent... She's not a medical doctor or anything, but she works at a doctor's office. And so she's talked to a lot of doctors about it. And apparently it has the same reaction that the bear has for cooks.
Yeah, I've... Because, like you guys know, I get down to reaction material, so, like, my devices all overheard me watching The Pitt, so it was... I was getting recommended some of the different reacts.
I noticed your YouTube
anyway.
recommendations was very The Pitt focused.
At least one of the reactors was like... she brought her husband in on it because she's ER medicine, he's internal medicine.
Interesting.
And she's like, I'm so glad that you're watching this with me because otherwise it would just be going to work.
Oh. Weirdly, okay, so not The Pitt, obviously, but the only other hospital show I ever got into was Scrubs. And my old neighbor was a nurse who loved Scrubs because she said it was, in many ways, the most accurate hospital show she had ever seen. Mostly because it's constant work, nothing to do, and just whatever shenanigans you can get up to keep yourself sane.
And especially because that's more of just like a normal hospital setting too, right?
Yes.
Not an emergency.
That's not...
Yeah.
They go to the emergency room sometimes, but it's mostly just...
Playing more Night Rain. Now that they added duos, probably going to duo with Marcus soon. But in order to do that, I realized I needed to have it on PC, and I'd always planned on buying it on both anyway. So I picked it up on PC, and I'm starting to get my shit together on there so that because like it's being a roguelite, there are some persistent elements, so I need to gather some resources to get my builds going.
Yes, you gotta unlock certain things enough to, yeah.
And then otherwise, it's also been a lot of another YouTube show, Prim's Hood Cinema. It's just a dude, presumably from the hood himself, commenting on all the different classic hood movies.
That sounds like it could be fun.
And not even trying to give like super in-depth coverage. It's definitely more comedic focused. He definitely stops every time there's an extra in the background whose fade isn't lined up well to make fun of him. Just like, and I don't know how to explain it. Like just the dude's delivery and how consistent and kind of monotone he is throughout all of it. And just kind of real laid back about everything, but really still giving him shit and pointing out just some real funny things. Like, yo, Nick Cannon, you really went and wifed up the first girl you talked to in Drumline, didn't you?
And then had a lot of fucking kids.
Yeah.
I think
I forgot about Drumline.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a really good movie.
Or pointing out that Channing Tatum's first movie was Coach Carter.
I don't know that one.
Basketball movie, but I can't remember which one. Is that the one with
PG-13 Samuel L. Jackson.
There it is. Yep.
That's about it though. Not too much.
I've been re-consuming a lot of stuff lately. Not a ton of new stuff. A couple new things. But I'll go through the re-consuming ones. Me and my wife have been playing through The Binding of Isaac. It's a roguelite, twin stick shooter. It's out on Switch 2, and every other platform, I'm pretty sure. Adorable little twin stick shooter. You're playing a little boy who's trying to escape his mom, who's trying to kill him. So you escape into the basement, and each level you keep going lower and lower until you get to hell.
Truly sounds adorable.
And you shoot tears out of your eyes, and you're fighting a bunch of poops and flies and demonic hell spawns and stuff like that.
I keep meaning to play this. Everything I've heard about it,
The
it seems
fucking
way up my
soundtrack is so good.
It's been really talked up to me, so like same, but also just adorable. You're running from your mom and you shoot tears out of your eyes.
Yeah. It's from the same creator who did Super Meat Boy.
It's my childhood.
Great. Hopefully not.
I rewatched The Accountant. The Ben Affleck has autism, so he's really good at math and killing people movie.
Right. There's a guy I work with he loves that movie. What do you think?
I rewatched it because I was interested in watching the sequel. I'm no longer interested in watching the sequel. It's weird. It's not bad, but it's not good. I say it went from a 1-star on Letterboxd from the first time I watched it to a 2-star this time I watched it. Out of 5.
That doubled.
So yeah.
Doubled.
It was enjoyable enough. Very forgettable. And a wild cast. Fucking John Lithgow, John Barenthal, Anna Kendrick, Ben Affleck, of course. Some other people that I'm forgetting offhand. But
That is an interesting cast.
yeah, interesting cast, and like got a sequel, but also somehow doesn't exist in my brain. I had to rewatch it because I was like, I don't remember this movie. Then me and my wife and a friend, we went and saw K-pop Demon Hunters in theaters at a sing-along.
Hell yeah, how was that?
It was incredible. It was jam-packed with children.
Yes, it's K-pop Demon Hunters.
And it was a midday sing-along at a local theater, the Roxy. It was awesome. It was so great to see it with a bunch of kids, in that like I literally cried at like 2 points just from the energy of the crowd of children singing along to it. And there was just like the whole spectrum of what you imagine to have kids in a theater with, of like someone scream shouting like the whole sing along parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
And a kid that definitely knows every single word of this movie verbatim and is just talking through the movie, not just the sing-along parts. I'm saying every fucking word of dialogue.
The Roxy's the perfect place for this too. Like,
It was incredible. I had some really delicious popcorn. It was so incredible. I just loved it. It was very heartwarming to just be surrounded by a bunch of kids who were really enjoying it and loving it, and cosplay, and it was delightful. It was wonderful.
I had no interest in this movie, even when it started getting giant word of mouth, because like some things still just aren't for me.
Sure.
And it was still sort of like pinging on that part of my radar. And then like a movie critic I really respect put the last 20 minutes of that movie on par with the pushing off of the building in Spider-Verse.
oh,
And I
damn.
was like, oh,
It hits you in the feels, my dude. And I know that I'm particularly am prone to crying and feeling emotional at animation. It is a medium that really works for me, and that's why I love it particularly. I know that I've cried through every fucking Paddington movie, and that's barely animated.
Really?
barely.
No pun fucking intended. Both of you got there way before me. But no, it's a very fun movie. I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't gotten a chance. If you get a chance to see it in theaters, it's definitely worth seeing on the big screen because the animation is gorgeous. It's by the Sony Animation, so it's from the same production company that brought like Spider-Verse. And the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
Okay, yeah.
So it's really gorgeously
That one
animated.
was really good too. I really liked that.
Really gorgeously animated. And the songs are all really fucking good.
I am not commenting on K-pop Demon Hunters because I haven't seen it yet, but the level that you just put it to with the jumping off, which is top 5 animated scenes of all time, I think, arguably.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, maybe I need to actually watch this then.
Guys, I was at work today and the song to the last part of the movie came on, and I had to really try to like rein it in to not get too teary because I had to not cry into the burritos I was making.
It's a little extra
I mean,
salt.
we had it on the list like as
Like-
possible future episodes to do, so
I'm just saying, it's pretty great. I also crushed through the entire first season of Peacemaker this weekend, which
This is what I want to hear about. What do you think?
I fucking loved it. It was so enjoyable.
do you really want to make me?
It's also such an easy watch, in all honesty. I was surprised that I got through the whole first season in basically 2 days. I did 2 episodes day before, and then the rest of it in basically one sitting because I had nothing to do that day.
It's 10?
I believe so, if I remember correctly.
10? Something, yeah.
Love the cast. Don't want to go too much into it because we're going to go talk about it the first season, I imagine, eventually.
And you have seen The Suicide Squad, right?
And I have
Okay.
seen The Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Another movie that made me cry.
Yeah, man. That movie's so good.
James Gunn has done no wrong in my book.
Yeah. How much do you love Eagly?
Eagly is incredible. Eagly would definitely be on my top 3 list for favorite super pet now that he's in my oeuvre. And
Is it also Comet the Super Horse?
no, Comet's a special interest, but not a favorite. I'd have to re-listen to that episode to see what I
it's
picked.
awful.
Now I'm only thinking of birds for some reason. Red Wing really went up my list too because of Eagly.
That's fair.
I really loved it. I especially fucking love Vigilante.
Oh my god.
Now, that is a character who, physically, like appearance-wise, that is one of the most singular, accurate comic book costume appearances I've ever seen. You just ripped him straight out of the comic. Character-wise, not even close to the same person.
All new character.
Just, The fact that his name is Adrian, I think, is the only like connecting factor.
Which was very funny to have him be Adrian Chase, because I'm only familiar with that character
From the Arrowverse.
from the Arrowverse.
Who is the exact other direction of inaccurate depiction of Adrian Chase.
And fucking deranged in that depiction of it. I love that guy. He's always fun to see when he comes up and stuff. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. I can't wait for us to cover it on the podcast. And I imagine we'll be doing that soon, since currently, as we're recording this, the second season is airing.
1 episode's out so far as of now, I think. Yeah. It is. Like, okay. I knew John Cena was fun in the Suicide Squad, and I knew he had a career making movies beyond just being a wrestler. When we were watching it, I wasn't into wrestling yet.
Right.
And I just kind of knew him as like the wrestler action star that shows up in kind of bad movies, because he's had his range of shitty movies.
I keep hearing this name, but I've never seen the man.
Thank you.
And like, I know what you mean, in that like a couple of the movies that he did for a good stretch were like, I were just rented, because it was in the Redbox era of when I would rent everything that Redbox had, but like 13 Rounds or The Marine or the WWE productions that he was doing, where he's the lead of a movie that doesn't exist in anybody's brain unless you really fucking latched onto these movies.
Well, and he's been honest that for a while he was just like, they offered him a movie, he'd do a movie. Like, whatever.
That's how, like,
I wish
can't
people were
disagree
offering
with you,
me
Mr.
movies.
Cena.
Sure, no, I get what they're coming from, but like also legitimately fair if you're like, you make bad movies. He's like, you are correct.
Like, I get it, but also the Marine. Yeah.
So like, and then, you know, I enjoyed him in the Suicide Squad, and I was like, but I was still like, really? That's the one that you're gonna make a movie or like a TV series out of? This makes no sense to me.
Of everybody in that movie, you have so many options to pick from, and that's the one you choose.
And then end of the first episode, I was like, oh my God.
Yes.
He's the only person you could have picked. Like,
For some reason, I'm seeing correlations to Shorzy.
yeah.
Mostly because I think we had this exact same conversation about Letterkenny to Shorzy.
Shorzy and Peacemaker have more in common than I want them to have in common.
I kind of enjoy both of them a lot.
Yeah.
And they both make me feel things about the worst character on a previous... Not the worst character, but like maybe the most hateable character on a previous show.
I want to rewatch Suicide Squad.
I'm going to before we... Like, I kind of
It's
just...
not a bad call.
I kind of just listed as part of watching Peacemaker.
I think it is technically, in my book, Peacemaker 0.5.
Yeah.
And then in Jesting Wise, I have one last thing. I have finally listened to... I realized it was out and I could listen to it, and then listened to it twice since. But Chance the Rapper's new album, Starline, it is really great. I think it is my top 3 favorite albums of his.
Nice.
It very much kind of gives me feels of like acid rap with a little bit of colors.
Okay. Killer.
Very fun, very good. I'm definitely going to listen to it a lot more.
I've never listened to a ton of Chance, but I'll check this out now.
I very much love his earlier work. Big Day is good, but a particular energy. And I really, really enjoyed this new album, actually.
Killer.
Yeah.
You made me think of it just because you mentioned music right there. We did watch the season 2 intro to Peacemaker before because we don't want to have any trailers today. Do you have any opinions on how it like compares to the first?
I like the choreography more. I like the song less, and because it's less earwormy than that first one. Do you really want to do?
Yeah, no, it's very
really good. I love it makes me want to, knowing how the first season first season intro worked, and being basically such a deep, it's just the cast doing a dance. And they even have the guy from the very first episode who's gives him some weed, and is the guy who's just mopping, the janitor at the hospital, that I just saw in Schitt's Creek, which also I forget that I'm also watching through Schitt's Creek with my wife.
I love that show. I've rewatched through it like 5 times this past year.
It's so fucking delightful. Love Eugene Levy, and it's great.
That reminds me, there's a John Cena interview where he was talking about how he has to smoke a bong in the new season, and he had to be like, okay, so how do I use this thing? And like the props department's laughing. It's like, no. I've never smoked a bong before. You have to, you have to teach me how to smoke a bong because I want to
it to look right.
Yeah, because I have become so impressed with Cena just having had this like year of wrestling to watch, even when like some of his stuff worked and some didn't, and seeing him do more acting stuff. Like, he really does seem to be, whatever he does, he wants to do to the absolute best that he can do it. And that's like a fucking rad trait to have in somebody.
Yeah.
Even if it's apparently learning how to smoke a bong.
I brought it up to you earlier this week.
Man, I wish I could teach him how to smoke a bong. That'd be so fucking fun.
In his Peacemaker outfit, too.
That'd be so great.
Regardless, I would love it the other way.
There was like a little interview floating around with him this past week that I brought up to you, where he's a giant coffee guy and can speak like very eloquently and like knowledgeably about coffees, and very much judges new places he goes into.
I'm so fascinated. As someone who hyperfixated on coffee for a short while during the pandemic, I don't know. I don't have a great tasting palate. I do know how to roast, not roast. I do know how to brew a batch of coffee I enjoy for myself.
I was learning how to roast beans for a while. We could like
That'd
team
be
up
fun.
on this.
That'd be
sometime.
very fun.
I'll show you the clip when we're done here.
Oh, please. That sounds so interesting.
It was super great.
I want to know what he likes. Is he like into third wave? Does it like second
It's
wave?
kind of a short clip. It's only like a 1.5-minute clip, so he's not able to get too deep into it. But
interesting.
It's an interesting clip anyway.
I'm so fascinated.
I don't have a lot. This was, again, like you, just a week of a whole lot of repeat stuff. We're finally, so the only episode of wrestling that CC and I watch every week is Monday Night Raw, just because there's only so many hours in the day. And we have been behind, like just eternally trying to get caught up for like 3 weeks. And just yesterday we finally got caught up. I've watched a couple of documentaries. I watched one on La Parka. I watched one on Pentagon Jr., Hangman Page. I watched some non-wrestling things, I promise.
You better
I watched a couple episodes of Sharp, which I had told you guys about last week. The Sean Bean Napoleonic Wars show. I made some Mandalorian armor. That was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that looks really sick.
Oh, yeah. You sent us that picture.
And that wasn't the fancy one.
Right.
That was just the skeleton one. That's why I watched the La Parka documentary. I made a Mandalorian armor with like a skeleton look to it and went, oh no, I made a wrestling thing without even meaning to make a wrestling thing. I did read some comics that I haven't read that like have been sitting for a while. The next volume of World's Finest, which is a Batman Superman team up comic by Mark Waid. It's the first time I've not loved that book, but also it involved Batmite and Mxyzptlk, and those are characters that I just don't really like, the fifth dimensional imps. So what?
It just reminded me of a bit from Peacemaker season 1.
So like it's nothing against it, just didn't super do anything for me. And then I read Blood Hunt, which was the Doctor Strange Moon Knight Avengers crossover comic event starring vampires.
Right. How is that?
It reminds me.
I've read the Moon Knight sections.
Those are the best part so far.
Okay.
It reminds me why I don't read event comics anymore. And I think that if I had gotten, because I just got like the core series, and it is the event comics, because I actually don't have a problem with event comics. They can be a lot of fun. Crisis on Infinite Earths, etc., etc. Civil War. I don't like Civil War, but still. But you have to run the fine line between you need to make it so you can tie in other books and have it work, but you have to tell a real whole complete story in the main book at the same time. Blood Hunt didn't quite land that. Like, it was interesting, I wanted to see more, but so many of the action pieces happened in the side books that, like, I finished it and I didn't feel like I got a complete story just by reading Blood Hunt. I would have needed to read, because, like, the Avengers go off and do this thing, and the story is Varney, the original vampire, has, like, the very first vampire ever, has possessed Blade and has covered up to the Earth to create an eternal night so vampires can take over.
Mm-hmm.
And then different characters get up to different things. Dracula, Blade's daughter, and Miles Morales, who has been turned into a vampire, go off and have an adventure together.
Fuck, that's great.
Yeah.
I know. And, like, the Moon Knight crew is up to their own thing, and the Avengers are up to their thing. And, like, the Avengers are more a part of the main book. I've read the Moon Knight one. I apparently really need to read what Miles's crew is up to for this book, because it just felt incomplete without that, and that's disappointing.
I really want to know how Miles becomes a fucking vampire and if he gets turned unvampire.
He's attacked by a vampire, gets turned into a vampire, is rescued, though, and broken from the spell that Varney was using on various vampires. And it ends with Miles still as a vampire, but there's a new thing going on in the Marvel Universe where vampires are no longer affected by the sun, so they can go out into the day. I believe he is no longer a vampire. Like, I don't think that lasted very long, but the event ended with BT dubs, Miles is still a vampire.
I fucking love that, just remembering how Jubilee became a vampire for a little while.
And then they just largely chose not to talk about it. Yeah, like, this is why.
That's great.
Also, Doctor Doom is now Sorcerer Supreme.
Okay. Yeah.
Which led into a big storyline thing.
Fun.
No. But yes, but no.
Maybe fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Doom 3 million years in the future with old King Thor was also Sorcerer Supreme, so whatever.
Yes, but that's its own. We have gone far off into Jason Aaron crazy world where Wolverine is the Phoenix. Like, this is its own.
Also true. Okay.
It was good. It was gorgeous. I think if you get a chance to read it, if you can pick up one of the copies that has, like, more of the side stories involved in it, because it suffers if you don't have some of those. So I give it, like, a B when it comes to an event comic. I like it a lot better than some I've read, but yeah, I just needed more.
You watching, like, the La Parka documentary and stuff did remind me that I completed a successful, weird... I once when I was trying to do research for potential upcoming wrestling episodes that we've talked about doing, I ended up on a weird tangent watching a bunch of luchador stuff and ran into my favorite finishing move ever. And then I couldn't remember the name.
Have you figured out what
I figured it out.
What is it?
La Mystica.
Which one's La Mystica?
So you start, it goes a tilt whirl head scissors takedown.
Okay.
Transition into a single arm DDT.
Okay.
And as soon as the impact occurs, slides out into the armbar.
So you grab them by the head and spin them around, or do they grab you by the head and spin you around?
Here, I'll get a little video.
Yeah, I probably need to see this because none of what you're saying makes any sense to me as a layman.
The DDT is the Diamond Dallas Trigger?
I guess I don't know what DDT stands for.
I could be thinking of something else, but I know Diamond Dallas.
Are you thinking of the Diamond Cutter?
That's what I'm thinking of. I'm sorry.
Well, that's
really good.
That's beautiful.
Okay, so you jump up, grab their head with your legs, spin them around a couple times, throw them to the ground, and pull them into the armbar.
Yeah. Except
Okay.
you do the transition into the DDT, so you end up with, even though you grabbed them with your legs and spun them around, you end up with their head under your armpit, basically, by the time you hit the ground.
Love luchadors.
It's so beautifully acrobatic. That's so fucking cool.
I did go deep into reading about Blue Demon, who is the number 2 luchador of all time. He's one of the luchadors, along with his rival, who was buried in his mask.
I think I know of this
so
guy.
devoted. He did like 30 luchador films because luchador
That's why
films
I know
are
of
a
this
whole.
guy, because I've seen a documentary about that.
Yeah, he was. They do not. They like keep it forever.
Oh yeah,
It is hardcore with them.
Pretty sure he shows up at the big party in Coco.
It's either him or his
Or the-
rival.
yeah.
I can't remember the name of the rival off the top of my head. They were
Or
like
both of
number
them?
1, possibly. Oh, I don't think I mentioned this last time. I got watching Gorgeous George matches from 1950, which is... So Gorgeous George is a wrestler who is pretty much responsible for American wrestlers having characters.
Mm-hmm.
Because before that, it was just... I mean, when wrestling first started as we kind of know it today, it was actual fights. It was just them actually wrestling. And then they went, hey, we could make more money if we knew how this would end.
Yeah.
And so it started becoming more of a show. And then Gorgeous George started bringing in showmanship. He would come in with these big pink robes and basically what Ric Flair did.
Mhm.
Very coiffed hair, and he played dun, 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 dun,
Oh,
dun.
Pop and Circum. Yeah.
Yeah, which fucking Randy Savage stole later on.
Mm-hmm.
And he would like have his manager come up and like put perfume over the stage and stuff. And when the ref would come up to him to like check him for weapons, the ref would have to get his hands perfumed. And if he didn't, he would go, get your filthy hands off of me. Which is where like get your filthy hands off of me went into the oeuvre.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was looking at I gotta look this up real fast. The various people who list Gorgeous George as their like major inspiration for their style. He kind of looks like the main character from Our Flag Means Death. By the way. He's actually really good too. But
Reese Darby or
Reese Darby, yeah.
okay. Fuck, I need to finish Our Flag Means Death.
Oh my god, it's so good, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Muhammad Ali openly says that Gorgeous George is one of the main inspirations for his entire character.
He's so pretty.
Bob Dylan was heavily influenced by Gorgeous George, but the one that's maybe most important of this, James Brown based his style off of Gorgeous George.
That's pretty sick. That's a pretty big flex, in all honesty.
Yeah, that is. On that, let's. You want to do some news?
Yeah, what you got for news?
Okay, we're gonna do the good thing first for the wrestling, and then we're gonna do the bad thing because the bad thing kind of bums me out. I got two wrestling pieces of news. One, the women's world champion of WWE, Naomi, has been forced to vacate her belt, but the reason she has is because she is pregnant.
Oh.
Which is her and Jimmy Uso, and they keep talking about the bloodlines continuing. Like, you already got 2 kids, Jimmy. And fucking Jacob, your cousin, has 7. The bloodline is fine, Jimmy.
But are any of them gonna wrestle?
They're
All of
3rd,
them.
4th, 5th generation wrestlers. This is like the Rock's family.
Yeah, I know. I just needed to make the joke. Maybe they weren't gonna wrestle.
There's going to be like one that will be a lawyer, and the rest of them are going to wrestle.
Oh, okay. So it's the inverse of what my joke was gonna be.
By the time they're old enough to wrestle, that generation will have had so many kids that we're just going to have championship wrestling.
You literally are going to have to make a new wrestling one for them. This is something that she has talked about wanting to do. She's had difficulty conceiving, so this is really exciting. She's like, yeah, the timing's not great, but like, we wanted this, so also cool, because one thing that had been going on is part of the reason she was made champion was talking to, it sounds like at least she had been talking to people behind the scenes and going like, hey, I want to have a kid. I'm going to have to go away before too long. So like, if we're going to do this, let's do this. And she had turned heel and was right in the middle of the best run of her career. It is very impressive that this woman managed to tell the audience, I'm having a baby with one of the more popular wrestlers in our roster, and was not turned face at the same time. She spent the whole time being like, Nick Aldis is forcing me to put this down. Or Adam Pearce, the GM, he's forcing me to surrender this title, and it's unfair.
Okay, I thought we were going a different way. I thought you were not going to say title.
Title. So
to lose this baby.
So
I was like, Jesus Christ.
So you literally like, you heifers. She keeps calling all the other women heifers. You heifers have 9 months and some change until I'm going to be back. Like, Jesus Christ, woman.
Not going to lose a step for this baby.
Yeah. 9 months and some change. I'm like, no, you're out for a year and a half.
9 months and some change.
That said, she's 7 weeks in. She's had like 3 title defenses in that time. Which means, fucking, if this baby gets into wrestling, which chances are high, Dominic Mysterio likes to talk about being a 20-year vet because when he was 8 years old, he was part of the
my God,
parental rights of Dominic ladder match.
Yeah, that's funny.
Where Rey Mysterio and
That's actually really funny.
That's pretty good.
where Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero had a match to see who got the parental rights to Dom. Technically, Naomi's baby could beat him out. It was a fetus. Like, been in the ring since.
Oh, that'd be really funny. Okay, so now what's the bummer?
Okay, so this one is darker than we usually go, but is kind of the only thing wrestling is talking about this week. A independent wrestler almost died over the weekend because, have you heard about this? Syko Stu?
Yeah, I saw this.
Okay, so there is a MMA fighter named Raja Jackson, who is the son of Rampage Jackson, who is apparently a big famous MMA fighter.
I'm familiar. Was he in the A-Team?
Yes.
Yes, he plays Mr. T's character in the A-Team remake.
Shit, okay, I've seen that. Yeah. That movie was better than it should have been.
I fucking love that movie. Love's a strong word, but I really enjoy that movie. And I've watched that movie several times and would rewatch that movie at a drop of a hat.
I forgettably enjoyed that movie.
I might love that movie.
Okay, so his son was backstage on a wrestling thing, and a wrestler named Syko Stu, who is a army veteran who uses wrestling as a way to manage his PTSD, thought he was a wrestler and involved him in a behind-the-scenes bit kind of thing, and hit him with a drink.
Oh.
Like, he had like a beer or some sort of canned drink, and just hit him in the side of the head with it. I've seen the clip. He clearly thinks that this guy is part of the roster and that there is some sort of work shoot promo thing going on here. And like, yes, he's being a dick to another wrestler, but they all understand the game. Kind of. Raja did not understand the game and got really in his face. Now, we will get to what he does in a minute, but
it was a stage crushing of the can against the side of his head, though.
Yeah.
He did a lot of it with his own giant mitts. Contact was made, but it was mostly the dude got beer on him.
And got really up, like, I don't play like that. And all the other wrestlers like, whoa, dude. Like, he thought you were a wrestler. He's not a wrestler. Do not do this to this man. Now, the bit that did originally come out, and we'll get to where this comes from, they made peace behind the scenes. He, like, apologized. They shook hands. No, I understand. It happens. Yada, yada, yada. And then, as part of the apology or whatever, they're like, hey, man, come out onto the stage, fucking hit me or whatever, yell at me for a second, go back. You'll get some appearance on this wrestling show. Like, it'll be a fun bit. Like, we'll work all this in. Raja lost his fucking mind, picks him up, slams him into the ground, clearly knocks him unconscious.
Holy shit.
And then jumps on him and punches him in the head at least 20 times.
Oh, no.
Like, just gets, the video is out there. I don't necessarily recommend watching it. I watched about 15 seconds worth.
I'd rather not see this.
And he is just swinging. Guy ended up in the hospital. There was a good chance he was dying. Bright side, and part of the reason why we're talking about it, he's not dead. He is awake. He is still in critical care.
I mean, I imagine.
He got fucked up.
It's not good to be knocked out.
And then punched repeatedly in the head by an MMA fighter.
While knocked out. Yeah. No, not good.
Even Raja's dad was like, he should not have been doing this. He should not have even been in this spot. Like, this was messed up. This was not okay.
Look.
The LAPD are investigating him. He might get charged with like pretty serious assault here, because this was not, pile driving Triple H. This was almost beating a man to death.
Yeah, like punching him once, sure. Throwing him to the ground, sure. Doing something physical after having the consent of a professional wrestler who's willing to take that hit is different than what the fuck happened there.
Yeah, and also, okay, if injuries happen in wrestling, we all understand this. But you don't punch a wrestler in the head like you would, like you're in an MMA fight.
They're completely different things.
This is mostly just this guy being a dickhead. And especially with the fact that they had made peace beforehand, that he was like, hey man, I'm really sorry. Why don't you come do this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, here's a peace offering. And just thought that it was cool. And it was not cool, apparently. Like, it was just,
yeah.
it's gross. And I hated it. But it was, it happened. Let's see. Kumail Nanjiani was promised way more than he received. So you actually have a little more on this. You saw the interview more than I did, but
he was on Mike Birbiglia's podcast, and then that was picked up by I believe it was comingsoon.net.
Okay,
had it out in there.
it was aggregated, and now we're aggregating from the aggregators.
He was, and he's on the podcast talked about how he was promised 6 when he signed his contract, and it seems. He also mentions that it's pretty standard for a lot of people signing on to Marvel contracts at this time.
For the Eternals, we should say this.
Yes, he signed on for the Eternals. But he signed on to make his contract basically signed him on for 6 movies, a video game, a theme park ride, and I think something else that I'm not even remembering.
It was huge.
But
He thought
he was going to be making Marvel movies for the next 10 years of his life, and that he would then occasionally have time to do a small little weird project. But he was just strapped in. Was like, well, that's my cash cow for the next decade.
And then Eternal.
Yeah, which I've still yet to see.
I liked it. I think it's a lot better than people usually talk about it, but also I've watched it and I understand why it didn't light the world on fire. It's fine.
I just remember us talking about it. I mean, from the moment it came out, and they're like, they have a lot of faith in Eternals. You know, being like, really? Like,
nobody else does.
It's
ever
the Eternals.
I get why you would have faith in it if you were making that movie from the inside looking out. Because it's got a great director. It's got a great cast.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's based on a really interesting source material.
Yeah.
It's based on an okay source material.
A Jack Kirby property.
It's gorgeous.
It is.
The director directed their ass off. I can't remember her name, but
it's just also the thing to remember
Chloe something?
Chloe Zhao. Marvel was riding a high and thought that they were completely untouchable. They were sure that, like, okay, we did Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame, and then we're gonna do the new generation, and we're gonna bring these other characters up to absolute.
We got Mahershala
premiere.
as Blade.
Still mad about that. We got Simu Liu as Shang-Chi, who's going to be our next whatever. And honestly, Shang-Chi was a good movie.
we need to have already been on Shang-Chi 3 by now, guys.
Yeah, dude.
It is a little weird that we haven't gotten a Shang-Chi 2. Has he been in anything else?
Nope.
Has it just been that one movie?
He's going to be in the next Avengers movie, but it was just that. But it didn't light the world on fire like they thought it was going to. They thought it was going to be their next Black Panther. And it was good. I mean, it's really... I love Shang-Chi. I think it is their next Black Panther, but it didn't succeed in the same way. And they thought
it's kind of their sleeper, though. If I feel like that's the one that everyone that actually did go and see it is like, oh, no, that one was fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's really...
It's just that...
Not everybody went and saw it.
Yeah.
I think that's when fucking peak Marvel fatigue was starting to really set in. And people were like, well, Eternals was fucking Eternals. I'm done.
Well, and it was right before, because you and I went to see it and then recorded an episode about it way back in the day. And it was like right when we were starting to break out of COVID. And we saw the trailer for Eternals there. And that's when we went, oh, is this movie going to be good? And they thought that was going to be their next, like, Guardians. Like, they really thought... And I think they really underestimated how much people do recognize the A-list characters, the Captain America, the Iron Man, the Thor, the yada, yada, yada. And then they also forgot about racism. And having a bunch of not white characters definitely hurt them in ways that, like, is super unfair. And I super get Nanjiani talks about in that interview of, like, he had to go to therapy afterwards because that just destroyed any confidence he had as a creator, as an actor, because he thought that here's the next 10 years of my life, and then no one gave a fuck.
Which he's a really good actor. He's very funny, but can do a really good serious role as well. Him and his wife wrote and co-directed a movie called The Big Sick, based on their actual life story, and he gives an amazing performance in it. Like, I think he's a really good actor. I really like him a lot.
Yeah, I really enjoy him as well. And I would go watch it. Everybody go watch the Eternals.
I keep meaning to.
I'm going to get to
It's
it.
like any of the other Marvel movies. It doesn't feel like a Marvel movie.
I'm getting closer to it. I'm still on my Marvel watch through grind. I just have dropped off to give it a breather. I think
It's a lot of movies.
It's a lot of movies. I think I'm towards near Thor Ragnarok.
Cool.
Good choice. Love Thor Ragnarok.
I'm nearly done with the Infinity Saga or whatever, however they're breaking it up.
Yeah, I think you have, like, I think it's one or two more after Ragnarok and then Infinity Saga. Infinity
That
Wars.
sounds right.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Not important right now. Last bits of news. Both of them Image Comics related, and the first one is real quick, but it just happened today and was kind of funny. One of the Image Comics editor, one of the higher up people, got hacked, and a phishing email was sent to basically every creator that works for Image right now. And they had to send, like, do not click the link. And, like, I read the email, and it's like, you can tell that it's fake, but if I had just, like, woken up in the morning and saw,
Already
like,
MILFs in your area.
No, it was
don't
very
mind if I
much-
do.
It was very much just like, oh, hey, I need you to sign this piece of paper, or, like, I need you to sign this document for, like, something purposes. For security, it's part of this Excel, through my Excel. Just click this link, you can go. And, like, I would have fallen for it. I admit that this was...
That's
like,
the point of phishing schemes. They're supposed to be enticing bait.
Oh, man, it was so hard to teach my father-in-law not to fall for
Emphasis on the bait.
phishing schemes, and he didn't even... He just wanted to, like...
Gross. But I like it.
He just wanted to sell, like, a boat on Craigslist and got, like, 4 phishing schemes that he got caught up in. Like...
I understand when it's a boat.
Moving on. Like, doesn't sound like anyone's been hurt. Image has been really on top of, like, but it just fucking... Image has had a, like, weird couple of weeks. Because also, I mentioned last week that they had made some sort of deal with, in the Diamond bankruptcy,
Right.
where they were pulling out of suing the bank that had the...
JP Morgan Chase.
Yes, JP Morgan Chase, that was trying to sell off all of Diamond's products to make their money back. And some of that came out, like what they had agreed to.
Okay.
They agreed to get some of their stock back. It's never been said what the stock is. They're not getting everything, but they agreed to, like, we want these specific books back. They won't try and sue again. They won't get involved in any kind of litigation against JP Morgan Chase in this situation. And they have to go get the shit themselves.
Oh.
So they had to go rent a truck to go drive to the diamond warehouses to go collect the boxes and boxes.
Something about that sounds really funny. That sounds so fucking dumb.
That's so dumb, and also just like
It's such a, like, it...
petty.
That's
Yeah.
what it is. Like, that's the whole thing about it. Of I was like, man, like, I kind of hate this, but I understand that you're not beating fucking JP Morgan Chase. Like, make a deal, get the stuff that really will affect your, like, income, and give up on fucking Warren Ellis's Trees or whatever books.
Yeah, I imagine it's mostly like new shit that like is probably or new shit or really popular shit.
That's but like the fact that they're like, you have to come get it. Fuck you. I'm like, oh man. Like, I'm just imagining like Todd McFarlane and
making
Eric
a Craigslist
Larson,
ad
like,
to go pick that
Road
shit
tripping to go get it.
fucking U-Haul. Yeah, like I imagine
up. I imagine a couple U-Hauls though.
I mean, I don't know how many. It's got to be several thousand copies of books, but
Are they a global distributor or just for the United States?
they do global, but I don't know the details of like what they had in storage, or I don't have anything on that level.
Turns
but
out what they asked for back was just like enough to fit in the back of a Sub.
I imagine they wanted their Invincible books back. I imagine they wanted their Spawn line back. I imagine. No, those are the two ones I can think of.
I
that
can
really,
imagine
like-
them asking for. Is it Skybound who does that, or is are they a
Skybound
sub?
is part of Image, so probably the Transformers G.I. Joe stuff.
Maybe Walking Dead.
I was thinking about that the other day.
Maybe like some omnibus stuff if they have like bigger collections.
Walking Dead is an absolute possibility, but they haven't been putting out Walking Dead in several years, so it might not be as. I mean, we're never gonna know.
Maybe just like a coupon to a local restaurant for while they're in town picking it up.
Like just bouncing quarters off of them. Go get something from the
I'm just imagining someone just taking a real fucking stinky ass shit while they're there. It's just like, if I'm picking these up, I'm gonna fucking destroy your bathroom.
Fucking upper deckers all around.
I don't know why it's so offensive. Not offensive, but just petty.
It's petty.
Petty is
It
the
is
word.
petty. It's so fucking petty. They're a literal fucking distribution network. You can just ship it to me. Fucking give me a price point. Don't be dicks about it.
Last one as a reminder, I meant to say this is the beginning, but this is, I believe, the last episode of General Nerdery News that we were planning on putting on the General Nerdery feed as well. We had said like 3.
So go subscribe, dicks.
So
Yes, please go subscribe and also search for it as General Nerdery News instead of General GNN, which I did, which
I definitely could not find it.
I couldn't
'cause
find
kept
it that
looking
way.
for
So
GNN.
General Nerdery News.
I'm the one that put it online, and I also could not find it at first.
So
And then I found it.
I'm
And told
trying
these
to
two.
remember to call it General Nerdery News, but it's GNN. That's the joke. Anyways, and now
There's a joke?
no jokes. We don't. This is a very serious podcast. And now sports.
This has been a General Nerdery Presents production. If you enjoyed it, please go hit like and subscribe wherever you're listening to it right now. Also, we'd greatly appreciate it if you checked out our other shows over at gnpresents.com. Thank you.